I'm going to start this video a bit differently today. This is part of the mega haul, but I'm going to give you a bit of an update on what hubby and I have done. We actually decided that it was getting a bit overwhelming having all of this on our back porch, and with school holidays starting at the end of this week, we thought we've got to get this stuff cleared off. So we decided yesterday and the day before to go through all of those big plastic bags that were at the end of the table that had bracelets and necklaces and chains. Some said silver chains, some said gold chains, and we ended up going through them all. And we pulled out all the silver and gold. So what we've decided to do is not to show the hundreds of fake silver chains, but we thought what I'm going to do in videos coming up in the next week is show you all of this. So this giant bag and all these bags here is all the sterling silver that we found in those plastic bags at the end. So I am going to go through and do an unboxing of those. We also went through the rings, which is what I'm going to show you today in this video. We've got costume, silver, and then we actually found in those bags a fair bit of broken gold that we're going to take and cash in today at the Hock shop, and then some gold rings, which I'll show you. And then I'll just pause for a second, go over and show you what we've got left. But over here, because I know you guys love brooches as much as I do, I have this massive, about half a tub left of brooches here, a whole tub of brooches here, and 2 bags of brooches there, and some silver left in here that I'm going to continue to do as the normal unboxings, because I love looking through brooches with you guys. So I'm going to continue to do those as unboxings. So over the next, say, 2 weeks, we're going to have the unboxing of these brooches and the unboxing of all those bags of silver. I'll just pop back over. Okay, back again. So what I'll show you first is the bits here that we found that are gold that we'll be taking to the shop today, because a lot of them are broken. Some we're going to take to verify, and others we're actually just going to take in to sell. So we found these are all marked as gold, but we're going to take them in and verify them. This chain here is marked as 9 karat gold. These 2 white gold chains are marked as 14 karat. We found this gold ring, which we believe is gold, but it's not got a marking anywhere, so we're going to take that to have it verified today. And these are pieces that we'll keep because they're not broken. And then broken pieces, we found this 14 karat white gold ring. It did have some emeralds in, just 3 of them, and about 5 were missing. So hubby pulled the emeralds out of that so we could keep them. And we're going to scrap this one today. It's about 7.5 grams of 14 karat. And then the other one we're going to scrap today is this. It's sad actually. I debated whether to do this one. It looked like it maybe had a pearl in the center, and it's a really nice Art Deco designed ring, but it's about 6.5 grams of 14 karat. So we thought we'll just scrap it, because when I get to the end, I'll be able to tell you what I think we'll get today in scrap, if the things are gold that we think they are, and why we think it's worth doing it. We also found this little white gold 18 karat gold ring, but we're going to keep that one because again, it's not broken, and we only scrap things if they're broken. And when we went through all those bags, the plastic bags that were down the end, we found these pieces that we think might be gold. Some of them have marks, some don't, so we're going to take those for the guy to test today. We also have a few rings here, like we think this one is rose gold on the top, and some other little rings that we think might be gold he's going to test for us. We do have a pair of broken 9 karat earrings to scrap, and another bangle just to test, and then the pieces that are in here that are marked gold but are broken, that's why we're taking them in. There's a little 9 karat pendant which has got a stone missing. There's this bracelet which is marked 9 karat gold, but it's broken and it's not one that can be easily repaired. But this was the good find that hubby found in one of the bags. It's just a really old vintage bracelet, and it's not really worth keeping because the engraving's quite deep in it and there's no clasp, but it is marked 18 karat. And this we weighed and looked up scrap price online, and this will get $650 in scrap from this. So I can't remember what the weight was. I can put it in the comments if we take it in and scrap it today. So what we've worked out and why we think it's worth a trip to the scrap place today is that if we scrap these little bits here and these couple of rings, we'll probably get about $1,000 just from the scrap gold. That's stuff that's broken and we can't sell, and it's not worth really keeping for investment. And anyone who's been following the market at the moment, gold is at an all-time high, so we figured now's the time to take this scrap in. So considering I paid $2,500 for the whole lot, to get $1,000 back in scrap just by taking these few pieces in, we think that that's the right thing to do to just get some of our initial outlay back. So yeah, it's a little bit of an update on what we're doing with that. So I'll pop those back in this bag, because these are ones that we don't want to sell. We just want to verify that they're actually gold. Our guy that we go to locally is really nice, and he's happy to always test things for us. So excellent. And then I'll give you a bit of an update. There was 2 bags of rings, and that's actually where we found those 3 gold ones and the small 18 karat white one. And hubby sorted them into, and I did too, into costume and silver. And so I don't know if you can see how large these tubs are. They're just like little food tubs. And this one here is sterling silver rings. So I'm probably not going to show you all the costume. A lot of them are junky, and I'll probably end up just putting them in a big lot on eBay, like a big just costume jewellery wear repair lot together to get rid of those. Or the other thing hubby and I have been considering after going through all the bags is there was literally thousands and thousands of pairs of earrings, thousands of bracelets, thousands of necklaces. And we think that we may even in December this year do a fair, like we have the antique fairs in Perth, the big ones at Claremont Showgrounds. And we're thinking of just getting a stall there and having a $2 jewellery sale where the entire stall is $2, just to sell off all the stuff that I don't really want to photograph and list on eBay, or that's lower value. I tend to not want to list anything that are under $10 on eBay. So we thought there'd be a really good way to get our principal back as well. So that's something we're considering, because we just think if we put them in lots on eBay, it could take longer, and then you have fees, etc. But what I think I'll do now is go through some of these sterling silver rings. There was some really nice highlights in here, which I can show you. We're at 6 minutes, so if everyone wants to watch, I'll show you some of the really cool pieces we found in here. This is a large one that's made in Mexico, stamped sterling. It does have some damage here to the edge, but I still think that's a really cool ring. I'll just pull out a few. This is like a handmade one. Looks like power shell or some kind of enamel on the top. Oh, this one we didn't know whether it was gold. Actually, I was going to put that in my to test. It's got a few marks here in the band, which we couldn't read. And although it looks costume, we just thought we would take that anyway to have tested. So many rings. Where do you start? This is a little vintage one. These are all marked sterling, so I'm not going to bother to show you sterling marks. I have checked them all. This was lovely. It's a horse. I really liked that one. I thought someone who's into equestrian would like that. But because all of these are just going into we keep all our silver for investment, so this is lovely for it's got opal in the top. We were just going to put them straight out into our box in the shed and keep them. One with onyx. There's some really nice like handmade ones in here. I didn't see any designer marks specifically in this lot. Oh, the neighbour's dog's barking. There's just so many. This one's really lovely, big one. It's got that same stone that was in the pendant in the last video that someone named for me. This one's nice too. Really big old men's one with a red stone. And a few people have commented when I said that we keep the silver that we should sell it and buy ingot if we want to collect, or we want to keep silver for investment. But for those that are in the US, you might not know, maybe some people in Australia even don't know, but to buy and sell or to buy silver with the intent of selling in Australia, you have to have a second-hand dealer's license for silver or gold or any other precious. Oh God, shit! The cat just scared me. He jumped down in front of me. You have to have a second-hand dealer's license in Western Australia, or in all of Australia, and it costs about $3,000 to $4,000 a year to have that second-hand dealer's license. So for us to start selling it, it was one of the things I was going to put in my and I still will do in my starting a business in Australia video. I'll just keep showing these while I'm talking. You have to have this second-hand dealer's license to sell silver. So if my husband and I wanted to start selling this silver in our eBay store, we would have to, because we now have a registered business, which we started from the 1st of July, we would have to have a second-hand dealer's license, or we can't sell it. So we have to keep it anyway now. I always used to keep it anyway when I collected for myself, but it's very different if you have your own collection of pieces and you collect for 20 years or something, and then you sell your own pieces off on eBay or whatever. But you can't do it if you have a registered business and they consider it purchasing with intent to sell, so they don't. Yes, and it's very large fines here in Australia. Don't know if you have the same thing in the US, but they're really funny about precious metals here. So that's why people have messaged me and asked if they could buy things. And for the fines, it's $20,000 fines. So it's not worth us selling it to potentially have, you know, massive fines. In the future though, because technically if you buy something now and you hold on to it for 15, 20 years, and then in the future when you retire you sell it, then that would be classed as, from my understanding, it would be classed as selling a collection. So that's kind of what our plan is. If we pick up silver like this, we hold on to it, and then when we're older and ready to retire, we might have a little shop, or we might decide to sell it all at auction then. This one here is beautiful. It's an aquamarine and marcasite. It's so lovely. I would have kept this one, but it's too small. And it's just not, in my experience, it's not worth having silver resized unless I absolutely know I'm going to wear it a lot. But that is really, really pretty. See, and that's a shame, because I see that and I think I'd love to be able to list that and sell it to somebody. But if anybody's watching this from Australia and knows any different than what I do about the secondhand dealer's license, I actually did ring and inquire about it. And I asked them about what about pieces that I've owned for 15, 20 years? Can I sell those? And the problem would be being able to prove when I purchased those items. So it's different now because I'm doing videos, so I would be able to show the pieces in the videos that I've found. But anything I bought prior to that, like years ago, this is a puzzle ring, and I have no idea how this thing goes back together. But yeah, it would be having to prove when I purchased it and that I didn't just buy it off some person, you know. Because in Australia, you know, we have a lot of problems with drugs and people trading jewellery that they've stolen for drugs and stuff. So they're clamping down on being able to sell silver and gold, because obviously for that reason, that it's being used in improper ways. And so I hope that answers the question for people that have been asking why they can't buy the silver. We didn't sell it before, but that we have a reason why we can't sell it now. Well, that's a cool mask. Like a surf ring. That's a shame it's got a stone missing in the top. Really nice, like artesian one. Some more rings. I know there are those that might be disgruntled that I'm not going to go through every single one of those bags, but honestly, when we went through it, some of them, like 90% of the bag was just fake silver chains. And after sitting through and watching the pearl video I did the other day, it was boring to me. So I want to keep these videos interesting and have people want to come back to watch them. So I thought we'll keep it to the highlights of the nice pieces. And honestly, in those silver bags, when I get to them next week, there's lovely things in those silver bags. And there's really nice silver rings here. And we did keep a bag of costume jewellery highlights out, like really nice ones. It's a shame that turquoise is broken. To show you some really cool vintage pieces that will go into my eBay store. For those that don't know, the eBay store launched on the 1st. There's some pieces that have started to land. I've actually got them listing and staggering, so they list like one every half an hour, I think. I think there's about 40 or 50 items in there at the moment. I do combine shipping, if anyone's interested in anything. That's a really big one. It's weird, it's got like leather. Turquoise. Like I said, there's just so many rings in here. All silver. And sadly, we'll all have to go away. That's more rings. There was actually a little silver bracelet in here too that had like mother of pearl marcasites, a little toe ring joined to it. It's hard to know where to go next. Another one. That's cute. Got a little bunch of grapes. A few different ones. This one's lovely, it's in really nice condition. I might just pull out a bunch and show you like this. Just some dolphins, and a bunch of bands. It's not going to be a very long video today. So when I will pause this video at the end or end it, and then I will either come back and let you know what happened with the scrap and how much we got, or I can just put it in the first comment and pin it for anyone who's interested in what our scrap total came to. That's really pretty too. See, it's sad to me. Someone might really like that. Oh well. Good old Australian laws. This one's interesting. Nice old vintage one. Hand engraved. Some more little ones. So we're gonna be very interesting actually to see what we get back from the scrap, so we can give us a bit of our principal back. Because like I said, it was the largest amount I've ever paid for. This is actually really lovely. It's got sterling on the ends. It's actually marked sterling on the bail. It's an interesting pendant. Nice to get some of that 2,500 back from broken jewellery. A whole bunch more. There's one there with a snake that's kind of nice. Oh, I'll show you that one. Oh no, where is it? Oh, there's one with like a... Oh, what's that stone called? My brain's gone moosh. Anyone who knows what that stone's called? And then a little snake one. There's a few really lovely ones here with stones missing too. And then these last ones, again, just some bands, and then I think hubby threw that jade one in there because he thought I'd like it. So that's it. Let me know what you think of our new plan of action for the rest of this lot. And for those here that may not be happy with the way that I've done it, honestly, it was just so much. It took hubby and I probably hours and hours and hours over the last 2 days to go through those bags and to pick out the pieces that we have. You will not be disappointed with the videos to come. Please keep watching and share with anyone else you think might be interested, and I will see you in the next video.